everyone, it's Kimberly with Queen Anne Real Estate. I'm so excited to have my good friend Peter here today sharing a really beautiful shrimp recipe with us. And I always love following you on social media because you're always posting these amazing meals that you're cooking at home. Tell us how you got started with all of that. I mean, I've known you for over 25 years, but...
Yes, you have.
But how did that ignite in your life?
You know, I think when I was very young, my mom cooked. Every meal was a home-cooked meal. We went out to restaurants every now and then, but we cooked as a family. And my dad actually took Chinese cooking classes, and he would cook until we'd have dinner at 11 o'clock at night. And so it was just something...
Sounds like some of the meals I made.
Right. So it was just something that I did, and I just loved it. I worked professionally for a while. And as you know, people love getting around food. I mean, everyone hangs out in the kitchen, and I've loved to entertain ever since I was in college. And I found it was a lot easier to cook a good meal than it was to go out to eat.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of stuck with me.
So take us into it. What ingredients do we need to get started?
Okay, so first of all, as you can see, I did a lot of the work prior, got it all prepped up. It's, as the French would call it, my mise en place.
Okay.
And so what the recipe calls for is 1 full onion chopped up. And you know, one of the things that what I like to do is when I cut an onion is to always cut it lengthwise because the root keeps it together. So when you're chopping it, it doesn't end up all over the place.
That's such a good tip.
So we've got 1 diced onion, small onion. We have both a red and a green pepper, which I've diced. One of the things that I like to do is to cut the ends off and then use a knife to go around the inside of it to get the white, the pith, and the seeds out.
Okay.
And once you do that, a couple of bangs and the seeds come out. It's a lot neater way to do it. We have the zest of 1 lemon. And I know a lot of people have lemon zesters, but I find that using an astroplaner is really helpful.
Oh.
And if you keep it with this end up, all of your zest stays inside. So again, it's a great way not to lose any while you're zesting.
Okay.
We've got 5 cloves of garlic, which have been through a garlic press.
Okay.
We've got a ½ teaspoon of red pepper flakes. We'll be using salt and pepper. We've got a 1/4 cup of white wine. We've got some parsley, Italian flat parsley, which we've chopped. 6 ounces of feta, which will be crumbling at the end. And actually, I like using ouzo in the recipe, but to be honest, I couldn't find any. So Pernod is actually a great substitute. And there's about 3 tablespoons of that will go into the shrimp.
Well, it's good to know that you can have a backup. As we know this year, there's lots of things that are
you can't find.
Not readily available, so it's great to be nimble.
For sure. And then just a couple of other ingredients. We've got some olive oil, and then we've got 28 ounces of diced tomatoes. And what we're going to do is we're going to pour those through the strainer, and we're going to reserve about 1/3 of the cup of the juice to be able to put in as well. And, and that's, I think that'll get us there.
Okay, let's get started.
So you ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our shrimp marinating.
Okay.
And so you can actually stir it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our lemon zest, get all that good toasty lemon zest in there. We're going to use about a clove of garlic. You can never use too much garlic, right? We're going to use a tablespoon of Pernod. It smells good, doesn't it?
Really good.
And then we're going to put in a little bit of olive oil, about a tablespoon or 2. A little bit of salt, and then you're going to mix it up, get that good and mixed up.
Okay.
And so what's going to happen is this is kind of a marinade, if you will. I think you can leave it in for probably an hour, but if you're pinched for time, you know, 20 minutes, a half hour, and while you do everything else, it's good to just get it in that great yummy juice.
Is it bad if you do it overnight? Like, will it break down the protein?
The lemon juice.
Okay.
And I think it'll be too much.
Too much.
And as you can see, it's pretty easy just with the couple of ingredients to be able to kind of get that ready. Okay, so at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to put that aside.
Okay.
And then we're going to get ready to go to the stove. And one of the things you always should do, obviously, is get your stove on and get your pan hot before you ever put any fat or olive oil into it.
Okay.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to, with that hot pan and a tablespoon or so of olive oil, we're going to put our onions and green pepper in. We're going to sweat them, and we want them to release their juices. So once we get it hot, we're going to put a cover on it for a couple of minutes. It'll release those juices, and then we're going to take the cover off, and then we're going to turn the heat up a little bit, and we're going to help evaporate that.
Okay.
And that'll take another 2 minutes.
Okay.
At a little warmer heat. And then once we do that, what we're going to do is we're going to add in the red pepper. the remainder of the garlic. And we're gonna leave that in just until you can start to smell it. So, probably 30 seconds to a minute.
Okay.
And from there, then we put the rest of the yummy good stuff in. So
Okay.
we'll go in with a quarter cup of wine, and we're gonna add in our 2 cans of diced tomatoes and a little bit of that juice. And then that's gonna cook for about 8 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
And you wanna get all those flavors to kind of meld together. So once our tomato mixture and our sauce is ready to go, we're gonna turn the heat down a little bit lower, and we're gonna add our shrimp in. The shrimp's gonna cook uncovered. It'll probably take about 6 to 7 minutes, and when shrimp's done, it's gonna turn pink.
Wow, look at this.
All right, so our shrimp's cooked, nice and pink.
Okay.
And now we're gonna finish it off with some feta.
Okay.
Crumble this up. And now our dill, we can give it a little stir so it gets a little melty. So let's taste it, make sure the seasoning's good before we're ready to dive in.
Perfect. I love the herb finish. Really good.
It has a nice bite to it, huh?
I love it. It's light, it's so flavorful, and it's relatively easy. I mean,
Pretty easy to do.
that was just fantastic.
And I would definitely serve this with a nice, crisp, minerally, whatever you like, Spanish wine.
Wow, this looks so delicious. Let's wrap this up so we can go eat this.
I'm with you.
For the full recipe, head on over to SeattleLuxeHomes.com.